What is going on, Team Acne? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing another interview. So you might remember I did one with Vitruvian Physique. We also did one with Kadi. Both of those were super awesome. You guys have been asking for more. And I want to continue doing more interviews just because there's so many different voices, there's so many different stories, there's so many different types of acne and types of people who have acne. So I think it's really important to get voices out. I think it's really important to just have different types of people to connect to, just to make you feel, not alone, feel like there's other people who are just like you. So today we have a very special guest. I'm super stoked. Thank you for joining us. Abby, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm super good. I just got back from a run, so if I'm a little spazzy, that's why. So first off, can you just tell us like your username, of course, but then like who you are, where you're from, your age, just a little about you.
So I am Abby's underline acne on Instagram. My name's Abigail and I'm 20 and I'm from Scotland. So very sunny all the time. And yeah, that's just me.
From Glasgow, right? Not Glasgow.
It's Glasgow. Yeah, not Glasgow.
Every time I come over to England, I always am like, oh yeah, so you're from Glasgow, and they're like,
No, it's definitely Glasgow.
all right. So when did your acne start, and was there any like specific reason that you noticed it starting?
So I started to get really mild acne when I was about 10. And
Oh,
it
wow.
was kind of like here and there. And I probably wouldn't class it as like full blown acne and such. But for me, like it was just so bizarre to be getting it because I'd never had anything like that before. And because I was quite young at the time, so I was thinking of just going into high school at the time. So it was like quite like a big change for me. It was difficult to go from being like in primary school and like the same people all the time to like being with so many different people and you didn't know how they'd react to you.
Hmm.
So I struggled with that quite young. And then when I was maybe 15, 16, it kind of went more severe. So it kind of got more inflamed. It was like more spots in general. And then every day, like I was just so bumpy, so red, and I just couldn't like keep up with it. So I struggled a lot with it. But because I can't swallow tablets or anything, actually do anything about it. So for about like 10 years, I was just constantly in like a cycle of just having spots and not being able to do anything about it. So it was just so difficult for me.
Yeah. And what would you say was like the time where your acne was the most severe?
Probably like my second and last year of high school.
Okay.
So like probably like junior and senior year for like you guys. But for I think because I was obviously stressed, I was like just like going into like adulthood and stuff, and obviously like nobody kind of has like a grip on their life at that point. So like everyone was like up in arms, like self esteem was out the window at that point, and it was
Yep.
just like not even just the acne, but it was just like the whole feeling about it and just like how I felt about it. So I think that contributed to making it feel worse. But visually and stuff, I think it was really bad then because it was just so bumpy. Whereas now it's pretty much flat. So
Yeah, I mean, I totally vibe with what you're saying because, I mean, for people who are familiar with my story, they heard me say it a million times, but my acne was definitely some of the worst times were during high school just because I had so many cysts. And then, just like you're saying, your self esteem isn't really built yet because you haven't had time to build it off of anything. And people are extra super mean because they don't have anything that they've experienced, so they have no reason to, like, I guess, understand what something difficult is like. So yeah, I definitely feel you. Would you say that that was the hardest point of having your acne, or just the most severe? Like, what would be like a hard point in your life that acne kind of affected you?
I think it was really hard then because obviously like nobody does understand, and because I was like the one person that just stood out from everyone because obviously like I looked a different way, and I don't feel as if anyone could sympathize with me and like understand fully what I was going through. So I probably like cordoned myself off from so many people because I was like, you don't understand what I'm going through, so like I can't really give you the time of day because they'd maybe just say something wrong and it would just upset me. So I think it was hard just in the whole grand scheme of things. But I think once I kind of came out of school and kind of like got a grip of my life a wee bit, it got like a lot better because I was surrounding myself with the right people. I was putting myself in like good situations. Like I wasn't just heavily relying on like the people that I had and just kind of like not taking opportunities and stuff like that. Just like being in that mindset, and I think like to be able to break away from that, that's kind of like when it started to get better for me. Obviously, like you still do have hardships with it. Like it's not as if it just disappears one day, but I think back then, like it was so much worse. Like just in the whole grand scheme of things.
Yeah, and I want to add something because I feel like what you said is really important there. I feel like when you first start getting acne and you're not experienced with it, right? So like you haven't, I guess, learned to live life even though your acne is bad. In the beginning, it's so easy to do what you're saying. You get the acne and it's the worst it's ever been, and then you shut down. You say like, I'm going to stay away from people as much as possible. I'm going to guard myself from going out into events where I could get hurt because then I'll be sure to not get hurt. And it feels like the right thing to do because it feels the safest. But when you really look back at it, you think, man, I really missed out on this or that. And I didn't allow myself to follow my passion and things like that. So, sorry. Yeah, I really think that was a really good point. So I appreciate that. What did you do in like response to your acne? You know, whether it was like mentally, like what did you do to like keep yourself positive and moving forward? Or what did you do physically? You know, like if you tried products or anything like that?
I mean, back then, I literally done nothing. Like I would just put makeup on, go out the door, and just like try and forget about it as such. And I would
Yeah.
try to like make it self-depreciating jokes about it. So like I always used to say, like, oh, I have the Alps in my face, or I wonder what my face would spell out in Braille because it was so bumpy. And when I look back, I'm like, that was such a horrible way to deal with it because I wasn't accepting it. Like I was making out it was a joke when it really wasn't, and that was allowing other people to make a joke out of it. So technically, like I didn't make the situation any better for myself. So like at the time, I just done nothing because I just didn't really want to deal with it that much. And then obviously when I started my Instagram, that was kind of when I started to deal with it a wee bit, like more on like social media side of things. When I started uni, that's kind of when I stopped wearing makeup as much. I just stopped being as self-conscious about it and just more aware of kind of what I was doing. So I think I was surrounding myself with better people. I was just doing things that were not as bad, so I wasn't putting myself under like as much stress. Like I was drinking more water. I was just keeping better care of myself, which then resulted in like better mental health, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which then allowed me to kind of just tackle the acne part because obviously it's like you have to learn to love yourself before you can tackle anything else. So for me, I had to just remove myself from all the thoughts that I had beforehand and be like, okay, this is you, and then you just have acne, and that was it. Like you just had to disconnect the two. So I think that was kind of when I started to like change things up a wee bit. And then only like in the last year, like I started incorporating products to like fight the acne and stuff. So I also started on the topical Accutane before like starting the actual Accutane. So yeah, that's what I've just been up to with it. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think what you said is also an interesting point when you say like the acne kind of started you to think about, okay, I should drink more water, I should sleep better, I should try to lower my stress levels. Acne kind of has like a secret. It feels so terrible, but there are some really good things that come about from it because it does make you start to think about what you're doing. And, you know, when you're young, obviously you're like, whatever, health, blah, blah, blah. But as you get older, it's really important to take care of yourself. Like I know people who don't drink water, they just drink soda pop. And if they have no reason to stop that, why would they? But luckily for us, when we start like analyzing our diets, we're like, you know what, maybe I should be a little healthier. And then it leads to things that are really good for you. So I think that was a really good point. Can you tell us about being someone who wears makeup, has to wear makeup? We talked before a bit, and you say you have to wear makeup for work. So can you tell us a little bit about that? And like, what do you think about makeup and acne, and how do you approach that?
I think in terms of makeup, for me, I do have to wear it in certain situations, but I don't heavily rely on it as much as I used to. I obviously have had like such a love-hate relationship with it, where for me to have to wear makeup every single day has made me hate it. But then also, it allowed me to explore different things in it, which made me like love it. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll look at it, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered, like I hate it so much. And then sometimes I actually sit down and dedicate the time to it to like start doing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I absolutely love it. And then I'll go out and buy loads of makeup, and then it's always an issue. But I think it's one of those ones where it's really difficult because everyone obviously has different perceptions on it. And I think it's all about knowing that you don't have to wear makeup, but you can choose to if you want. Especially with acne, it's almost as if like disregard the feeling of having to wear it and that you can't do anything without it and that you heavily rely on it. Like that's not a good mindset to be in. And obviously understanding that okay, I can have days off with the makeup. Like I don't have to rely on it. I can like do things without it, and like obviously realize that you are beautiful without the makeup and you're beautiful with the makeup. Like makeup doesn't mean anything. It's just something that you either have the time to do or you don't. So I think a lot of people obviously think that when you wear makeup, you're just forgetting about your skin, like you're just covering it up. But I think a lot of people don't understand is that some people actually really enjoy makeup and
Yeah.
people putting it on. I think the only thing is that when you obviously have acne, you do have to be careful with kind of what you're using. So just definitely make sure that when you're picking a foundation, make sure that it's for you because you can get the same results from a foundation that isn't as either thick, it isn't the same ingredients as something that can obviously really damage your skin in the long run. And obviously like prepping your skin and all that kind of stuff. Just to like help not and obviously removing it properly at night because nobody wants to wake up to like 1,000 spots on top of what they've already got because they forgot to remove part of makeup last night because I've been there. It's not great.
Yep.
Well, and so many girls have been there. Like my girlfriend will be like, I'm just gonna sleep my makeup tonight and then touch it up tomorrow, and it'll be like 10 times faster. But even I think that's like a huge tip is definitely take your makeup off at the end of the night. But I really like what you said about even if you do find the makeups and you Google search them before you buy them, and you're like, okay, this one is a more non-comedogenic. This is a less like pore clogging makeup. It's better for acne. It still will have an effect on your acne because you are still putting stuff on your face. But I love how you said, if it's something that you really enjoy, you shouldn't let it completely stop you just because it could cause a bit more acne. And if you start to come to terms with the fact that you can go outside and be in public without makeup or with makeup and both are just fine, it'll start making you feel more comfortable with the fact that, yeah, okay, maybe I want to wear makeup this weekend because we have, this dance or like a bunch of photos to take or something like that. And you know that maybe Monday morning you're going to have a little bit more acne than usual, but you've started to work on wearing makeup and not wearing makeup. So you're like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to still have no problem going out without my makeup and I'm gonna have a little bit more acne. I think it's really important because for me, there are certain things that I know cause my acne, like eating junky food, like processed food, fast food kind of stuff. But if I'm really wanting to try something new that came out, or I have a social event that I want to go to, I know it's going to cause a little bit more acne, but that's fine. Like I'm okay with having a couple more pimples because I still want to live life. So I really like how you said makeup isn't just like I guess a cover up to make you be like, I'm afraid of my acne, I'm putting this on because I don't want people to see it. It's actually for you something that is like an art. It's something that you really enjoy because it's yeah. I think you know what I'm saying.
Where like I'll watch certain TV shows, like I don't know if you've been watching Euphoria, that just came out, but the makeup in that was amazing, and it's made me fall completely back in love with it, not for anything else, but because it is just so beautiful. And I think that's just where I'm at with it, and I think that's a comfortable relationship to have with makeup.
Yes.
So yeah.
You mentioned that you are on Accutane now. How long have you been on Accutane, and just maybe talk a little bit about that?
So was on the gel Accutane for like 3 or 4 months. So I probably started that in probably like March, May, that kind of time. And then I had really, really good results with that personally. Obviously it is not for everyone, but for me, I couldn't swallow tablets and I still can't. But we have found a way which has meant that I can take the Accutane kind of as a liquid from just like taking it outside the capsule, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Totally,
That's
totally.
fine if anyone has to explore that route. But it does mean that you can have the Accutane without having like the stress for it. For me in particular, I take really bad like panic attacks and all that kind of stuff when it comes to swallowing tablets. Don't know why. It's just always been that way. Even with medicines that are liquid, if I take it like straight as the liquid, it'll freak me. But if I were to take it like something, so the way that I'm taking Accutane is that I'll put it in my food, and that's the way that I'm having it. So you don't taste it, you don't see it, but you're still getting it. So I've been on that for about a month now. So I started off at 20 milligrams, and now I'm on 40 for the next 4 months. And so far I'm finding it really good. Like I don't get like any side effects as much. Like I'm only slightly more tired. I get like a dry throat throughout the day. But other than that, and like dry lips every other day, like it's not constant for me. So I think I'm in a pretty good position with it. So I'm like don't have any complaints about it yet.
Have you seen improvements yet, or are you still kind of in the initial breakout phase, or what?
Well, my dermatologist said that she's seen like massive improvements with it. Like my inflammation has reduced like a lot. Because what my problem was that I had like inflammation under the skin that was kind of like in that like second layer of the skin. So she could see it, I could see it, but I thought it was just scarring, but it turned out still to be active acne. So she was saying that that's kind of reduced a lot. So she's quite happy with the progress so far. But I'm still purging. But I think for me, I don't think I'm having as much purging because I was on the gel before it. So I don't know if that's helped bring it all to the surface beforehand. And then this has just been like the next step up for it. So I don't know if it's got something to do with that. Possibly. I don't know. But yeah, I would say that I have seen improvements with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know a lot of people are going to get to this point of the video and comment and ask about Accutane. So I just want to say real quick, I haven't made an Accutane video on this channel yet, but I'll do that very soon, kind of talking about the pros and the cons and just what you need to know before you get into it, et cetera, et cetera. So don't worry, that video is coming. Okay, so I kind of want to just wrap up here with, is there any like piece of advice or anything you want to leave everyone who's in the same shoes as you, who's watching you? And obviously this is something that's, you know, really helpful for them because someone who's just like you is watching and they're like, nice, I have a friend, I'm not alone. Is there anything you want to leave them with?
I think just like don't let your acne define you in any shape or form, and don't let it stop you from doing anything. That was the rut that I got myself into a lot, and I think it's just about disconnecting yourself from it to be like, I just have acne and it doesn't define me in any shape or form. It's just there and I can still function without observing it as much. So I think it is just about having the disconnect and being like, okay, I have this right now, but in 10 years I probably won't. So it's all about that. It's all about just knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a way forward. This isn't permanent. So yeah, I think there's so much that you can tell someone and so much that you can explain to people, but it's all about your personal views on it. And if you are obviously there and you're like, oh my gosh, my acne is so bad, like there's nothing that I can do that can help it, just hold out because everything will get so much better.
I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being on this interview. For people who don't know about your Instagram, yeah, I loved having you on here. For people who don't have you on Instagram or just want to find your username, what is your username? How do you spell it, et cetera, et cetera?
So it's just Abby's _ acne. So it's just ABIS _ acne. So it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, I think even if you type in just Abby's, it'll come up some weird shape or form. So yeah, it's just that way.
And that's the place to follow you. You don't have like a YouTube or Twitter or anything like that?
No, I just have Instagram now. I would like
Awesome.
to switch to YouTube at some point, but obviously that is pending.
When you do, it's going to be super awesome. Thank you so much for coming on this interview. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, I want to get more people on here. So thank you for joining.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate you guys checking this out. If you did enjoy this, of course, as always, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you follow Abby's Acne. I'll put the link right below the video right there. And comment what you thought. And if you have anything you want to add in here, if you want to share your story, people always go through the comments while they're watching videos. So it's a really important thing that you can do without having to share too much. You can help out a lot of people like that. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Remember, you're not alone. You are beautiful, and you're part of Team Acne. I'll see you guys in the next video.